Hi, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to the Five Elements Essentials series. And let me know in the comments below if you are watching me live or you're watching the replay. Let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know if you are on Facebook or you're watching me on YouTube. I'm always so curious. It just shows me the number of people who are watching, but I'm sure some of you are there on YouTube, some of you are there on Facebook. So let me know in the comments. So, hi, Angela. Hi, Ruby. I am really, really excited today to be talking about the five elements. And hi Manish, hi Sophia, hi BJ, hi Leslie. Wow, so many people. Okay, so I'm really excited to talk to you about the five elements because I seem to have been studying these for so many years, like almost more than 20 years now. And they've just been such a big part of my life. And I just thought, let me do something around the five elements and let me play with the five elements. So let me know how many of you have actually how many of you know something about the five elements. Have you've heard about it, maybe you've read it a little bit. Let me know how many of you know something about the five elements. Hi Dorit, hi Sophia, hi Paramjit. Oh, somebody is on YouTube. Yay, I'm so excited. Okay. Okay, so let me know how many of you know about the five elements, so that just to gauge what is your level of knowledge about these, and so I can talk a little bit more about them. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Nilofer Safdar, and I facilitate people to release their limiting blocks, their self sabotage patterns, so that they can create freedom in their life. And I've been talking about all these kind of weird, wonderful, woo woo things for many, many years. And today I'd like to talk about one of these ancient things, which is called as the five elements. Okay. So life is the organization of vital energy. And this vital energy manifests through the body, mind, and spirit. And the five element theory is one of the, hey Neela, yay! I'm so happy to see you here. Okay, so the five element theory, it kind of it is the law through which the body, mind, and spirit are organized. And this is a very ancient system coming from Chinese medicine, and it comes from this theory called the Wu Xing. The Wu means five, and Xing means the fundamental processes, agents, interactive phases, movements, transformations, or powers. Okay? So basically, the five elements are fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. And these represent the fundamental energies in the universe. And you will actually find these five elements in every aspect of the universe. You will find these five elements in your body. You will find these five elements in the universe. You will find them in the seasons. You will find them in all kinds of things. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit today. I'm going to talk mainly about the body, and I'm going to talk about what processes in the body are corresponding to each element, and what actually occurs when these elements go out of balance. Okay, so the way it's going to go is that for the next 4 days we are going to dive into one aspect of the five elements. So today we are going to look at the five elements and the body. Tomorrow we are going to look at the five elements and the mind and emotions. Then on day 3, we are going to look at the five elements and physical spaces. And then day number 4, we're going to look at how to balance the five elements so that you can create harmony and good fortune in your life. Okay. And when I look at the five elements and I look at, the interplay between the five elements and what it creates, I always get so excited. So my first introduction to the five elements was when I actually started studying Sujok. Sujok stands for Su, which means hand, and Jok, which means foot. And one of my friends, she attended a seminar and she came and she demonstrated some pain relief techniques on me, and I got relieved of pain and I got really interested. And I always wanted to attend a training. Unfortunately, I couldn't. So what I ended up doing was I ordered these books of Sujok, and I got these, really thick. Like tomorrow, I'll bring those books along and I'll show it to you. I bought these 2 encyclopedias of Sujok, and the first thing in those encyclopedias was the five element theory. And as I started to read the five element theory, and whatever little I could understand, I started to apply it. And that was the time, when I started to actually apply it. My son, my older one, was just 1 year old. I was living in Saudi Arabia, and I did not really want to give him a lot of allopathic medicine. So what I started to do was I started to look at these five elements, and I started to look at things that were going on in his body. And at that time, primarily, what he used to have was, like cough and cold, like all babies do, and he also had this kind of allergy on his skin. So I started playing around with that, using the five elements, using different colors, using seeds and things like that. And what was really interesting was that I would see the change instantaneously. And sometimes, the change would be really good, and sometimes it would not be so good. So I understood at that point that when you create these changes in the five elements, sometimes you are contributing to harmony, and sometimes you are taking it away from harmony. Okay. And I will talk more about this on day 4, when we speak about how to balance the 4 elements to create harmony and good fortune. Okay. So, the goal of the five elements treatment is to enhance your personal alignment with the laws of the nature. So, remember, we spoke about, every aspect of the universe contains the five elements. Okay. Okay, I just forgot, but I'm going to, very quickly share this broadcast, and maybe you could share it too, if this is something that is contributing to you. I can never figure out how to create a watch party from this. But anyways, let's share it. Okay, cool. So, every aspect of the universe, it contains the five elements. So when you work with the five elements, it's about aligning your personal alignment with the laws of nature. So when you align with the laws of nature, you create harmony in your body, mind, and spirit. Okay. Now these elements, they also act as maps that reflect all levels of human function. Okay, and I'm going to actually go through the physical things, where you can find all the five elements. Okay, so when you look at the body, these elements, they correspond to a matrix of specific muscles, organs, glands, and meridians. Okay, so each of these elements, they have their own organs, they have their own meridians, they have their own glands, they have their own muscles. Okay, they have their own sense organs, they have their own body fluid. So like every body fluid or every sense organ has one of these elements at their core. So for example, when you start looking, so Sophia says, I worked with the five elements in martial arts. Yeah, that's a great one. Okay, so before I really go into the body, let's look at where in our life we have encountered these five elements. So one of them is five element theory in the martial arts. Okay, of course, we are talking about Chinese medicine. So when you talk about acupressure, acupuncture, that's where you will also have the five elements. Where else can you find five elements? And this is very common. I think a lot of people know about it. Can you guess where else can you find the five element theory applied? Let me know. Let me know. Where else do you think the five element theory is applied? Okay. Okay. So I have huge notes. Yay! Yes, yes, Dipali. Yes, absolutely. It is feng shui. So it is feng shui, and this is like one of my favorite things. I think in a really big way, I started to look at the five elements when I started to feng shui my house. And if you really look at this room, I've actually applied the five elements here. And we're going to talk more about this on day 3 when we talk about the five elements and physical spaces. Vishy says meditation. Okay, yes, there is a meditation with five elements. So let me know where else you have encountered this. Okay. So let's start looking at the five elements, and let's start looking at the organs that they control, the meridians that they have, and so on. Okay, so let's start with the first one, which is the wood element. And just 5 minutes before the broadcast, I said to myself, I should have prepared slides, because this is so much better to show slides with. Well, never mind. I didn't do it. I didn't have time in 5 minutes to do it. But let's see. I'll try to do my best here. Okay. So the wood element, it has two organs, and one is a yin organ and one is a yang organ. Okay. And the two organs that the wood element represents is liver and gallbladder. Okay, liver and gallbladder. It also represents the two meridians, which is the liver meridian and the gallbladder meridian. Okay. Now, the sense organ that the wood element represents is the eye. Okay, the sense organ is the eye. The body tissue that it represents is the tendons and sinews. The body system that it represents are joints and muscles. The body fluid is tears. The endocrine gland is thymus gland. Okay, so these are all the things that come under the wood element. Okay, so if any of you, say for example, if you have something that is going on in your eyes, So what this means is that your wood element is out of balance. Okay, what do you mean by out of balance? Well, what I mean by out of balance is that you have either an excessive wood in your system, or you have a deficient wood in your system. So either you can have an excess amount of the element and it goes out of balance, or the element can be deficient and it goes out of balance. So then what you have to do is you have to balance it so that the excess comes down or the deficiency goes up. Okay, and also each of these five elements, they are interrelated. Okay, and there is something called as the creative cycle and the destructive cycle of the five elements, and I'll speak about these on day 4 when we speak about how to balance the five elements and create harmony and good fortune. Okay, so this was the wood element. Okay, and the energy of this element is wind. Okay, now the fire element is one of those elements which is like fire and more fire. Okay, so it's actually one element, but it has two parts of it, so like part A and part B. So one is less fire, one is more fire. The energy of it is like in Sujok we called it as heat and then hotness. So hotness is like more heat, yeah. But in Chinese medicine they call it as heat and summer heat. Okay, so fire is the only one which has two parts of it, but everything else has just one. Okay, so now in the fire the organ is heart and small intestine. In more fire the organ is brain and spinal cord. Okay, the sensory organ for fire is tongue, and it is tongue in both fire and more fire. Then the body tissue uh, is actually vessels. So all the blood vessels that you have, that belong to the element of fire. Okay, the body fluid is blood or sweat for fire, and for more fire it is just sweat. The body system is the circulatory system in fire, and in more fire it is the nervous system. And the gland is thyroid in fire, and in more fire it is the pituitary gland. So as you can see, each of these things are to do with the body. And then I'm also going to talk about some of the disorders that occur in the body when these elements are out of balance. So again, out of balance means when they are either excessive or when they are deficient. Okay, so as I go through these disorders that occur when these elements are out of balance, I'd like you to kind of make note of it somewhere. So if you have something going on in your body, then just make note under which element they come. And then you can say, okay, this element is out of balance, and then it's a matter of finding out whether that element is excessive or deficient, and then you can work on bringing it to a state of balance. Okay, so how's it going so far? I know this can be a lot of information, and right now you may be thinking, I don't really know how I can apply this, but just kind of hang in there and you will be able to see. So for example, you say for example you have a lot of nasal discharge going on, then that this is to do with one specific element, and that element is out of balance, and so you can bring that element into balance again. Okay, now we have three more elements remaining, which is the earth, the metal, and the water. Okay, so the earth organs are spleen and stomach. The sensory organ is mouth and lips. The body tissues are muscles. the body fluids are saliva and lymph. Okay, so obviously if it is lymph, then what it means is that the element of earth is controlling your lymph, and the lymph has to also do with your immune system. Okay, so if your immune system is compromised, and especially in these days when we all are looking at enhancing our immune system, then it means that you need to look at the element of earth. But the immune system also shows up in another element, which I will talk about presently. Okay, the body system, which the element of earth controls, is the digestive system, and the endocrine gland is pancreas. So for people who say, for example, have high blood sugar, or who have type 1, type 2 diabetes, then it means that their earth element is out of balance. Okay, the next element is the metal element. The organs and the meridians here are the lung and the large intestine meridian. The sensory organ is the nose. The body tissue is the skin. The